Hello, all my inspirations, and welcome to Inspirational by Marie. Any newcomers, you are all welcome to my channel. You're welcome to this platform. We are all a family here, so please get involved. Today, we've got an interesting topic. We're going to be speaking about how to build trusting relationships. So it's going to be a good one. But before we get into that topic, please be sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, and share this video. All right, let's get into it. So, treating people how you want to be treated. This is a great way to measure the fairness in your relationships. You know, being able to treat people how you want to be treated is also a way that we are being accountable, you know, for how we treat people. Also, doing things that, you know, make you happy, doing it to somebody else. Do you understand? Also, I think sometimes, even in relationships, it could be a situation whereby maybe you're doing something, or it's a pattern or a habit of yours, and you're doing it in your relationship. For example, you tend to not, I don't know, call back when you say you're going to call back, or you tend to not, like, answer the phone when someone's trying to get through to you. And maybe to you, that's really just normal. You've been doing it for years and it's not really an issue. However, to somebody else, to your friend or to your partner, it may be an issue. So, or it may be upsetting them. So it's good to be open to correction. And if they tell you that this is upsetting you, this upsetting them, you know, are we able to actually make a change to be able to treat them kind of in the right way? So I think also that's what we should bear in mind when we're dealing with relationships, to be able to be understanding in our relationship, because something might be normal to us, but to another person it may actually be affecting them. And if it's causing them some unhappiness, then definitely, if we're their friends, if we're their partner, then I'm sure we don't want to be making them unhappy or being the cause of that being the cause of that unhappiness. All right. So next step, it takes time to build and earn trust. So bear that in mind as well, that it does take time. You know, like, if you think about when you first meet a guy or a girl and you like this person and you're getting to know them, it's like you almost want to give them your everything. Like, I know for me, it's like I'll be getting excited. Like, I want to talk to them all the time. I want to, you know, these are normal things. It's like, I want to talk to them all the time. You know, you just want to do so much and you want to prove so much, and you just want to basically let that person know that you are the one, yeah? Because I've been there, do you understand? But with that being said, over the years, I've had to also realize that it takes time to build trust in a relationship, and we need to guard our heart. So even though I am that person that, you know, I get excited, I'm always thinking about the person, I'm like, oh my gosh, this, that. But I know in my heart that I also have to remember it takes time. So how do we practically, you know, put this into place? This is the tip I would say, and I would give all my inspirations and anyone watching me for the first time. It is to start with small commitments. You know, start with small commitments. So, for example, if you know you're getting to know a guy or you're getting to know a girl, then what you do is you should kind of like see how they stick to their words. Small commitments. Okay, Marie, I'm going to call you on Friday, but they haven't called me on Friday. That's a small commitment, and they have failed in that case. Okay, now that's not to say after it happens you cut them off. No, because really it's supposed to be, I guess sometimes things don't work out all the time, yeah? So sometimes even I've let people down on the first time. But I'm talking about habitual things that are a pattern. If you see them in a person and you know that they cannot commit to small commitments, or they cannot, you know, stick to small commitments, then you know that, okay, this is a bit of a problem. Because how are you going to trust somebody with something small? You will not be able to trust them with something big. Let me repeat that in a way that makes sense. You cannot really trust someone with something big if you can't trust them with something small. So if they say, okay, I'm going to meet you in the park, I'm going to pick you up from work, X, Y, and Z, and they continuously let you down. Okay, remember, it's supposed to be a building thing. You're supposed to be building trust, and they can't commit to these type of things, and you know that it's a bit difficult now, moving forward, for you to trust them with bigger things. So, however, If they are sticking to those commitments, those small ones, then you can start moving on to bigger commitments. Do you see what I mean? Then you can start moving on to bigger commitments with that person, because you know that, okay, now they have been trusted with the small commitments. So now I can actually trust them with bigger things. And I think that's generally how healthy relationships do grow. Because if you think of someone that you're close to now, understand that you weren't close to them at the beginning. But definitely, if you look back, you're going to see that, you started off with small commitments, maybe your friends, you started speaking more, you started talking to each other more. Oh, girl, I'm going to call you back. Oh, yeah, bro, I'm going to call you back. Yeah, let's meet up, let's do this. And you guys do that. You building trust. That's building trust to the point where 5 years down the line, if that's the nature of your relationships, you're going to see that you have overcome bigger hurdles with yourself. Maybe it wasn't just that meeting in the park. Now maybe you're going to holidays. Maybe you're the bridesmaid, So you're given bigger responsibilities. Yeah. Okay? So, also, do not avoid difficult conversations. This is a hard one because, okay, for example, let's say you're getting to know a guy, you're getting to know a girl. It's good to not avoid those difficult conversations because, like, for example, me, like a couple years ago, I think I would have been the kind of person that wouldn't really like to kind of like probe or ask the guy, where is this going? Do you understand? Like, what are we? And all these things, And even me, I have friends that have been in a situation like that. And it's like, where is this situation going? What are we? And there is no answer. The only answer, I guess, would be what you're showing to yourself. But on paper or like verbally, it hasn't really been kind of officialize, what you are. And I feel like in relationships, especially when you're getting to know somebody like your partner, or somebody who you really like, it's important to have those difficult conversations. And I say this because expectations can really be, I wouldn't say met, but it's like you're less likely to be disappointed. You have now given an expectation or set something where both of you are now accountable for what you are. You acknowledge what you are. Okay, if he says to you or if she says to you, yeah, we're official, we're together. Now you know what to expect next or what you want out of this. Now you can sort of demand, okay, what it is. But if you're not sure, how do you meet that? You're just going with the flow. And then, have you heard of those situations whereby you don't know what you're in? Let's call them situationships, as a lot of people know. I think we've all been in situationships where there's no title on the relationship and you're just sitting there. And then 3 years down the line, the person's like, well, we haven't been together. We're not together. So what's your problem? Do you understand what I mean? So having those difficult conversations, and I call them difficult because I don't think a lot of people would be in situationships if it wasn't because they were afraid to address some certain conversations. Because after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you can say to the person, okay, what are we? What are we doing? If they haven't said it anyway. I think it's a responsible thing for the person that's trying to pursue you to kind of let you know what they want from you. However, if that hasn't happened or you guys are still getting to know each other and you think the time is right, then definitely have that conversation. Have that difficult conversation. Even though it's hard, I understand, but it kind of helps us in the long run. I don't want any of my inspirations or even myself, like I've had to learn over the years to be bold about these type of things and to be responsible because ultimately it's our life. So by the time you want to complain and say, oh, this person let me down, it's like someone's going to turn around and say to you, but did you ask, did you say to this person, what are we, X, Y, and Z? So let's try and bear that in mind. Let's ask those difficult conversations, have those difficult situations. Don't hold anything in your heart, okay? Also, being honest and transparent. I always talk about being honest and transparent, but the fact of the matter is that if you're building a relationship with someone or building trust in a relationship, it is very, very, very important to be honest, because it doesn't matter how big the lie is, how small the lie is. If you're somebody who's lying all the time in a relationship, then it's always sowing that seed of distrust in the relationship or even in the person that you're talking to. Do Do you understand? It diminishes that trust. So please, let's be honest in our relationships. Do not lie about things that really, I guess there's not even point of lying, or just don't lie, full stop. Try and be as honest as you can, because this naturally builds trust and brings trust by default in a relationship when you are an honest person. So yes, let's bear that in mind also. Okay, so being observant. How they treat others is how they could also treat you. I remember a couple years ago, or some years ago, maybe not a couple, but some years ago, I had a friend at the time, and I remember she was a gossip, to be honest. I liked her, but she was a gossip, okay? But when I say she was a gossip, I think I felt like everything she would tell me, she would only kind of tell me, if that makes sense. She would only confide in me. That's what I was thinking. So I was thinking that, okay, she knows this secret, but she's only telling me. But she would tell me about everybody, okay? And me, thank God I don't have a big mouth, I would keep it to myself. Honestly, I would really keep it to myself. But she would always tell me about this, that. Even things that I really don't think she should have even told me, to be honest, she would tell me. But I just felt like that's because she really trusts me and because we were really close, okay? Now, one day, I got into a little situation and I was talking to her about this particular girl because the girl upset me and the girl offended me. And I was just like, you know what, she's actually taking a mick now. This is what happened, X, Y, and Z. I felt like I was justified because with everything I was saying, I could definitely say it to the girl. But you know how it is, when you're in your emotions, you're in your feelings, and you're talking to your friends, you may say some things, you understand? You may say some things that, okay, fair enough, it's not 100% right, but maybe because you're expressing yourself and you trust that person, you're saying some things that, not really that nice or good, okay? So I was telling her my emotions. I was upset about something and I was explaining how this girl did this to me and how it made me feel, X, Y, and Z. And she was telling me the same. She was like, yeah, I can't believe she did this to you. How could she do that to you? Da-di-da-di-da. And so we were just going back and forth. And I'm just thinking, yeah, everything's cool. Everything's calm. We're just talking as friends. Why is it that when I'm in an environment, when I went to a place and I saw the girl that I was talking about, she's telling me everything I told my friend? Why is that? And I'm like, I was blown away. Because I knew that this had to have come from my friend. Because she got the girl that I was talking about, she got it down to the T. So I was like, oh my gosh, like it actually is her. So I was thinking to myself, wow, like I thought we were, and to be honest, that really did hurt me. I thought we were really friends. Anyway, I say that to say this. Remember I said that she was a gossip, and you have to be observant in your relationships with people. Why did I think that she would be telling me all these things about other people, and then when it's me, she wasn't going to say it to somebody else? Why did I think I was exempt? I did because I thought we were really close, and I thought that I wasn't, exception. But however, no, that was her character and that was bound to happen at some point. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I'm just saying that if you look at a person's pattern, their character, why are we different? Not really. And I just think that it's important, like even a lesson for myself, I think even growing up and just being on an inspirational journey, it's always good to, which I do now, definitely, whenever you're talking to someone, even if someone's upset you, base whatever you're saying on facts. Base whatever you're saying on facts. Of course you can express you're upset, but if you are standing in front of the person you're talking to, are you able to say, yes, this is what I said, and these are the reasons why I said it? Because you can have conversations with your friend that you're close to. Yeah, why not? Because at the end of the day, you're close to them. You're not expected to go and tell everybody what you're discussing to people. No, that's why you have close relationships. However, if that information is leaked, are you okay to actually say, yes, I said it, and this is the reason why? And, are you able to stand on the truth, basically, is what I'm trying to say, So let's bear that in mind as well. When we're dealing with people, be observant about the person you are building a relationship with, whether that's your partner, anybody. Be very observant, because really how they treat other people is possibly how they're going to treat you in the long run, okay? So yeah, guys, that was the lesson I learned. Okay, so are your morals, values, ethics similar? This is also important, okay? Are your morals, values, ethics similar? Important, I'll tell you why. Because for example, let me just give you an example, right? If I have lent money to you, or I've said, okay, you know what, let me change that. Someone asked me for money, and they said they're gonna give me the money back, right? And I give them the money. I give them £50 now, and they said they're gonna give me back on the 1st of June, or they just said they're gonna give it back to me, but they don't give it back. Now, me personally, I take things like that very, very seriously because of my values, ethics, and morals. I believe that if I say I'm going to do something, I would like, by God's grace, to actually achieve this, and I want to keep my word, is what I'm saying. But if somebody doesn't have the same morals, ethics, values as you, they will probably not give you back that money. Do you get where I'm coming from? They're probably less likely to pay you back that money because they don't see things how you're seeing things. The mindset is different. When they say they're going to do something all their life, they haven't been doing it. So, of course, if they say to you, if they ask you for money and you give it to them and they say they're going to pay you back and they don't pay you back. So it's important that when we are in relationships or building relationships with people, we want to kind of have the same mindset, or at least adaptable mindsets. Do you see where I'm coming from? Whereby that person is teachable. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that person's a bad person. But like I said, if they don't have the same values, morals, ethics as you, it could be problematic. Remember, it doesn't mean the person's a bad person. It just means that really, how can two walk together except they agree? Do you get where I'm coming from? So let's bear those things in mind as well when we're building trust in our relationships. If that person doesn't see things how you see things, if that person's not teachable, are you teachable also? Because you could also be doing something that's very, very not right. And is that person able to tell you that, listen, Marie, this is what you need to do better because of this? And I need to be able to see, the positive in what they're telling me and actually change my ways, over time. Okay, so keeping relationships confidential. So this is also a great thing as well, because definitely when you're building trust in relationships, you want to keep whatever the person is telling you confidential. You want to be able to hear what they're saying, and you know that you want to respect basically and value that relationship to the point where you don't just hear things and be blabbing off and going to tell everybody. I don't believe that's what true friendship is about. I believe that true friendship is about shielding your friends, covering their shame, things of that nature. And so it ensures that there is trust, because when your friend speaks to you, they feel safe and secure, or even your partner as well. What is worse than having somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, but you do not trust them? You do not trust that you're going to tell them something and they're not going to go and tell their family expose you. Do you understand? I've heard so many situations, especially like, let's say, for example, a woman is having issues or problems giving birth, things of that nature, or something very personal to her, whereby she, is not going to be talking. Even her friends may not even know this, but she's discussing it with her husband because they're trying to build a family. And then the husband takes this information, or the wife, okay, anybody in the situation, takes this information about their partner's issues and goes and tells the family. How would that feel? So it's important to keep relationships confidential, because this can be a big, big, major breakdown in relationships. So yeah, let me move on. So being honourable. Also, it's good to be honourable in our friendships and relationships, because for example, right, you don't want to be in a situation whereby your friend has a boyfriend, or let's say has an ex now, and you start to go out with your friend's ex. Not honourable, in my opinion. I'm sorry. To me, that's not that's not honouring a relationship. To me, that's how I see it. Now, I understand that there are different situations, different scenarios that maybe these things happen, okay? I don't know. But as for me, I'm just saying, I don't see myself having a best friend who has an ex and I now start going out with their ex. How are you honouring your friend? Or better yet, how would your friend feel? Do you think, because for anybody who thinks like, oh, Marie, you're just saying that or whatever, how do you think your friend would be happy with that situation? Do you get what I mean? Do you think your friend will be like pleased about that? Or better yet, do you think your friend's gonna go out with you guys to eat or go to the cinema? Like, honestly, honor relationships. That's it. And it kind of goes back to the first step: treat people how you want to be treated. Okay, don't allow any amount of love or attention from a man or a woman allow you to dishonor people or a relationship. You understand? Let's keep our standards high as much as we can, and let's be able to be teachable, because you may not see that as a problem. Honestly, some people may not, and it's not even that bad. If you honestly, genuinely don't think things like that are a big deal to you, then it's okay. But if somebody is teaching you or telling you how the implications of your actions, and you're a reasonable person and you still fight that feeling of no, I agree in that, then I don't know. I don't really know what more to say other than I believe that with due time God will speak to your spirit and to your heart. Do you understand? And teach you ways and better ways, okay? So being honorable is a good thing. Alright, guys. Alright, so also, just to round it up now, loyalty through rain, sunshine. You know, how loyal are we to our friends, our partners, our relationships? How loyal are we in these situations? You know, when you're having a good day, are you being loyal? Am I being loyal? When you're having a bad day, are you being loyal? Loyalty is very, very important. I think people that even look at relationships can see how loyal you are to one another. So it's very important to be loyal in a situation. I think that it creates a beautiful unity in relationships. So that's one thing, by being loyal, by always having your friends back, you understand? By always kind of like rooting for them, sticking up for them, and even correcting them when they're wrong. That is being loyal too, because you don't want them to look like a fool somewhere else. You don't want them to look silly somewhere else. So you are correcting them. That is a part of loyalty, actually, guys. Nothing will ever be perfect, do you understand? Where there's good, there'll be bad. And sometimes you may feel bad, but it's actually for your own good. Do you see what I mean? So sometimes in life, there's so many things in life that we are yet to learn, that we're still learning, that I'm still learning. Do you get what I mean? And the only way I can continue learning and continue growing is really by, I guess, being informed, looking at other people's examples, and also learning from mistakes. Those are the only ways that we're going to really kind of like be able to maximize the quality of our life and live a better life at the end of the day, because we're not going to always get it right. I don't always get it right, and that's it, really. So I hope you enjoyed this video about how to build trusting relationships. I love you all. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below what you think it takes to build trust in a relationship. I want to know, guys, what do you think? Also share some tips with me too. I love you all. Be sure to subscribe, share the video, comment down below, and like. Mwah. Until next time, be inspired, be encouraged, be blessed. Mwah.